I'm Chris, or Topher.
And I'm Mike, Wrecked Wizard.
Yep. We're... I almost made an inappropriate joke. Kids.
They're your kids.
I know. They've heard it before.
You do it at home.
I'm going to share everything that I've learned in growing my channel. I forgot we're live too, so hi, Instagram. Everything that I've learned over the last 18 months or so in growing my channels, and same here, right?
Yeah, live streamed on Twitch for about 3 years, stopped doing that, and then I've been on YouTube about 1.5 years, Instagram and TikTok doing short form content, so it's been going pretty good so far.
But you would say that your OnlyFans is probably the best, right?
Yeah, a lot of feet pics.
So anyway, also on this panel, we're going to do some giveaways. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm going to give away this lovely GameCube here that is actually preloaded with every GameCube game and Nintendo 64 game and Super Nintendo game. They're all backups, of course. Oh, and NES.
Yeah.
Master System probably, and there might be some Atari games on there.
Yeah, because downloading the games is illegal and we don't do that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
These are all backups of my collection.
Yep, he has every Nintendo
And you have something too.
collection, yeah. So I'm giving away a autographed copy of Mario 3D World. It's signed by Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario and Luigi, and it's also signed by Laura Faye Smith, the voice of Rosalina. And it's fully authenticated. The certificate's inside. I've met both of them. They're amazing, super nice people. So yeah, I wanted to give that away to somebody here today.
Mike was cool enough to let me authenticate it.
Yeah, they're real, I swear. I have pictures.
Yeah, of my kids signing it last night.
Yeah.
Just kidding. All right, so let's talk about making content, making videos and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Last night I got dinner and somebody asked me what I did, and then I almost said I'm a YouTuber, and then I was like, that sounds so stupid. So I didn't know what to say. So I told them I sold tractors because that's what I really do.
Yeah, and I drive tractors. That's what I really do. So yeah, we have real jobs. We're not rich and famous from this, yet. Hopefully.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm happy to share with anybody who here or in that phone might have questions about content. I guess like the easiest thing to do is for us to talk about why we do this,
right?
Why we started doing it, what started us doing it, and for me, it actually was my kids that really got me making videos and stuff. I went to film school down here actually, long ago before digital, when I was actually shooting on film. So I have a heart in storytelling and film. I'm pretty passionate about it. But it wasn't until my kids, who are now 8 and 10, got old enough to start. I actually don't watch a lot of content. I don't watch a lot of content creators, not because I don't like it. I don't know. It's just not something I do, but they do, and they started, with the whole like, I want to talk about games for a living, or I want to play Minecraft on the internet for a living, and or be a YouTuber. And so I thought, I really want to help them understand that this is a viable thing, and if I'm going to do that, then I need to understand. And so 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I just started talking online about the stuff that I love, which is this stuff. I've been collecting games my entire life, mostly console stuff and arcade machines and pinball machines. That is if you've seen my videos, you've seen all the stuff in the background. Those are real. That's not a green screen. Those are all machines that I've just collected. I started collecting with this guy actually long time ago. Like in the late 90s, when the arcade crash happened and people were like giving them away or trashing them. I made it a point to try and rescue machines. I hated to see that sort of stuff get thrown away. Or trashed, which turns out makes things more valuable. So I just started making videos about that sort of stuff. I wasn't really watching anybody else. I didn't have like a facsimile or anything to go by. I just started making videos and telling stories in this area of things, and it just kind of happened. I don't know. It's very weird. All of a sudden, people started watching. I made videos to like nobody for what seemed like a very long time. You know, where it seemed like it was 5 people watching, and then all of a sudden it was, you know, like 500,000 people watching, and it's been pretty fun. That's my journey in a nutshell.
Yeah. For me, I started, well, the first time I ever tried to make content was probably 2013, 2014, when Twitch was pretty in its, like, it was like in its infancy, when it was still transitioning from like Justin TV over to Twitch. I did that for probably 2 years, but I never really took it seriously. And then I stopped doing it for like 6 years, and then the pandemic hit in 2020. And you know, I work in construction, and every job site across America was shut down because they didn't know, OSHA didn't know how to run a job site while social distancing and wearing a mask. So while that was being figured out, I was at home. So I spent a lot of time watching, actually a content creator, his name's Harris Heller. He's pretty big in the Twitch space, and I started watching a lot of his stuff. His videos are like how to stream, you know, how to, you know, set up your stuff and what works and what doesn't. And I thought, you know, maybe I can give this a go and start streaming again and make content and talk about video games, play video games. Did Twitch for about 3 years, till, you know, maybe about a year and a half ago. And then I decided to make the transition over to YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, doing a lot of short form, a lot of retro collecting and retro hunting, kind of like the Pixel Game Squad and those guys. Started watching like retro creators over a decade ago, like Metal Jesus and Happy Console Gamer, Pat the NES Punk, who's here. And then I thought, you know, well, when I first started doing the YouTube stuff, I thought I was going to be a Elder Scrolls creator and make nothing but Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind videos. And I learned really quick that even though it's your favorite franchise, you get bored of making the same thing over and over. So I transitioned to retro and consoles and stuff we grew up on. And I started doing it about a year and a half ago because, you know, I knew that I wanted to do something more than just do a construction gig the rest of my life. I wanted to do something that was for me and something that I was passionate about. And yeah, it's gone really well, I would say, in the last year and a half, man. Like between all the platforms, I've got like 25,000 followers, over 20 million views, and it's kind of surreal, like getting to do that. And it's really weird to like come to a show, and like yesterday, this family came up to me with their 2 kids, and they're like, you know, the 2 kids are like probably 8 and 10 years old, and they were like, yeah, they watch all your stuff on Instagram. Can they take a picture with you? And I'm like, I'm nobody, but absolutely, I would love to take a picture with your kids. Like that's really why I do it. I don't do it to pay the bills. I don't do it for the money, and it just kind of, everything that I wanted this to be, it's turning into that, and it's been absolutely amazing. And that's kind of where I started and why I wanted to do it and why I keep doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, it would be, don't get me wrong, it would be awesome to do this for a living.
Yeah, because construction sucks.
Yeah,
yeah,
it does.
Fun,
I agree.
Yeah.
Nothing cool about tractors. That song, lies.
Jared knows he's a rancher, so.
Yeah. Yep. I run a Kubota dealership. In real life. I got it. Got you. Yeah, so, I mean, we can kind of open things up if anybody has any questions. I am happy to, I have a very, I would consider my kind of approach to making content a little bit unique, and I'm happy to share that. I don't think, I mean, initially it was sort of a happy accident that things grew as fast as they did. But after spending a lot of time in the metrics and understanding why things work and why things don't work, I do feel like I have a really good handle on why it worked and why it's continuing to work. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information in the metrics that these platforms give us, because like Mike, I'm on every platform too. I do YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and apparently Facebook.
I was literally going to say that. Apparently Facebook.
Apparently
too.
Facebook. Didn't realize that, but apparently there's some viral videos on Facebook. But what was the other one? Twitch. I have started doing Twitch as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody has any questions on how how we approach it, if there's any questions on the, keep forgetting we're live on Instagram also. Hi everybody. Be happy to answer. Yeah, what you got, man?
So Topher, what is your most nostalgic moment when you were starting out content creating, and then you're talking about right now, like where it's going and everything, and it's not scripted? Like, when did it just become, you know what I'm saying, like you were ready to take it to the next level?
Oddly enough, when I first started making, so one of the things I think that makes my journey unique in a way is I don't consider myself, even though I do make a lot of gaming content, I don't consider myself like a game content creator. I just talk about the stuff that I love. Like my first viral video was about gardening. Like that, the Mystery Plant Theater, which ended up turning into a series, that was the first video that I ever made that went viral, and had nothing to do with video game. Well, I had some video game music in it. That's about it. And the same goes for currently now. I mean, I do talk a lot about video games, but I just talk a lot about pop culture in general. I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up in the 80s. My wife grew up in the 90s, so we have a lot of pop culture influences. And I cover on my channel, if I'm interested in it, and I like it, and I'm passionate about it, I cover it. So I try not to stick to any one thing. I talk about movies sometimes. I talk a lot about vinyl records, which I collect. I talk a lot about games. But if it interests me, I talk about it. And I think that it's been a blessing and a curse, because it allows the channels to grow really fast. But when you have really fast growth like that, there's two different like avenues when you're making content. There's the growth avenue and there's the community avenue. And like obviously you need growth in order to build the community, but when you're constantly growing, you can't build a community because people are coming and going so fast. I got like 25,000 YouTube subs off of gardening. And then I start making gaming content, and people are like, "Fuck, this guy's talking about video games. I want to know about how are the beans doing? You know, what about the?" In order to unify that community, it's been very difficult. So like having that immediate growth has been very cool, and also very difficult, because keeping those people in a community and making everybody feel cohesive, like. I had always joked about when I was growing the channel of like, you know, people come for the gardening and stay for the gaming, or like come for the gaming and discover gardening, or even though I don't do a whole lot of gardening videos this year. This year my garden sucks. Sorry for people who are watching that like the gardening stuff.
My first viral video was about a scumbag reseller at the flea market. And I got a lot of hate, and it wasn't you. It wasn't you. It wasn't you. No, you know, and I didn't expect it to go anywhere, dude. Honestly, I went to the flea market and I was looking for games, and there was a guy who had a booth at the flea market, the one at Delta College in Stockton. And it was your typical reseller booth, right? It was all video games. It was, you know, and I go up there, and I'm a big PS2 collector. I love the PlayStation 2. And believe it or not, I didn't have a copy of God of War. It's like the most common game on the PlayStation 2. And I was just looking for one, and it's like a $10 game. And I walk up to the booth, and I'm like, "Hey man, you got God of War, how much did you want for it?" And he goes, $40. But for you, I'll do 30. And I was like, you know what, man? No, I'm good. I'm going to pass. Thank you, though. Have a good day. He goes, "Come on, man. It's a good deal." And he just kept pushing, and he kept pushing. I go, "You know what, man? No, it's like a $10 game." And he lost it with me. Like, he was like, "No, it's not. No, it's not. I know what it's worth. I've been doing this for all these years, and I know guys that have been selling games here for 15 years, and I'm going to believe them and not you." So being the jerk that I am, I pulled up my phone and I pulled it up on eBay, and there was about 50 copies for $10. And he was like, well, then buy it on eBay. And we just were going at it at the flea market. And over a video game. It was stupid. So I was all pissed off. I go to my truck and I was like, let's make a TikTok. And I make a TikTok ranting about this scumbag reseller who look, you can sell your games for whatever you want. I don't care. But don't lie about it, right? Like, don't try to beat me into it and try to lie to get me to spend more money. So I sat in the car and I ranted about it. And I posted it, and it got 1 million views on one platform and then a couple 100,000 on another. And the comments were really mixed. You could tell who the collectors were and the gamers, and you could tell the everyday person. The everyday person is like, you're an idiot, he can sell it for whatever he wants, capitalism, and he's just trying to feed his family. And then the collectors are like, yeah, screw that guy, and it was just, it was really mixed. Like, the reception of that video is really mixed between the collectors and the everyday people. But the whole point of the video is no matter what you're selling or whatever you're doing in life, don't lie about it and don't be disingenuous to rip people off. I don't care if you're selling video games or artwork or comic books, whatever it is, just be honest about it, because with the power of the internet, anybody can just pull up their phone and just look at what something's worth. So that was my first viral video. Yeah. And sometimes the negative content is not always the greatest because of the people that, people that you attract, you know what I mean?
So that is one point that I would like to make. That's one of the things that I stand by pretty hard with my content is, and everybody does it differently, but I typically will never post anything that is negative. Again, everybody does their thing, and there are lots of channels that, like, I can't remember the name of the guy who does really well on negative reviews. It's really funny. No, they're funny, but they're all negative. I want to build a community of people who come to celebrate the stuff that we love. The reason that we're all here, right? We're all here because we love the stuff that's happening in that room. All of the Game Boy games and everything that I've purchased since I've been here. And I don't want to talk negatively about what we love, because if I do, it typically brings in, you're inviting, this is our house, right? And we're inviting people into our house that are also looking to talk negatively about the thing that you are. Yeah, granted, you're going to have the people that are like, yeah, I also hate that game. But if you build a community of people based on negativity, you're just going to get negativity out of it, and you're going to be fielding, because I do read all the comments, you're going to be fielding lots of negativity, and that colors you. You get what you put out. You will always get that back, and so it is I stand by the theory of I have a lot of companies that send me stuff. Some of it's really good, some of it's not very good. There's a lot of games that I play that I don't necessarily like. I just don't make videos about it. I only make videos about the stuff that I love, because I'm here to celebrate this stuff with the people that also want to celebrate that stuff. And it's not for everybody, but I think that has a lot to do with why the community that I've built is so positive, and why people, continue to come back and watch. So, my little rant about that. Do you have a question, Carl?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wizard.
For Twitch is probably the hardest platform to grow on out of all of them, especially if you've actually done it and tried it. Live streaming, to put it this way, to get Twitch partnership, to get signed with Twitch, you have to have 75 concurrent viewers on average every stream. And it might not sound like a lot of people. 75, that's not very much. It's a lot, and it's very hard to get those 75 people to watch your streams consistently day in and day out. And that's the minimum. And most of the Twitch partners that I know, didn't get accepted, because when you hit that threshold, you're allowed to apply for Twitch Partner. It doesn't mean you're going to get it. I've had people that have averaged 100, 150 viewers get denied partnership. I did Twitch for 3 years. I did it on a strict schedule of 3 to 4 days a week, 6 hours a day. And I was averaging about 30 to 40 viewers. It was a grind. Promoting myself, making videos other places. It's very hard to get Twitch Partner, and it's exhausting, and it burns you out. It really does. The Twitch community is very different than the YouTube community. Twitch streamers, and no offense to any Twitch streamers out there, but a lot of Twitch streamers are very possessive over their viewers. They don't want to collab. They don't want to work with other streamers because it is very hard to get viewers, right? So they feel like, you know, if me and Topher are streaming on the platform and, you know, for example, they would be like, you know, no, I'm not going to help Topher out, or I'm not going to send my viewers over to him because they might like him more than me and they're not going to come back and watch me, and then I'm knocked down a peg, and that's one step further away from getting Twitch Partner. And it's a very negative, hostile environment in Twitch. Like, anybody who tells you different, they're lying. It's a very different thing. So then when I came over to YouTube, and all of the retro creators that I've been watching for a decade, like John Riggs, who is here, or Pat the NES Punk, like, they're normal guys that will do collab videos with you, or will talk to you, or treat you like a person, or they don't care about those things. It's a very different, more calm environment. Now, I'm sure there are YouTube communities and different types of content that is much more volatile, right? Like, you know, you got the Keemstars of the world, or, you know, things like that. But for the most part, the retro community on Twitch versus what it is over here, it's very, very different. And it was exhausting being on Twitch with all the drama and streamers fighting over, like, they owned the people that were in their, you know, in their streams, and it was very weird. And, you know, like I said, it might not sound like a lot to have 75 viewers in your channel, but the way I look at it is, imagine, you know, because a creator told me this once, and it kind of stuck with me. There's no such thing as a small creator. There are just creators who have not been discovered yet, right? And think about it this way. Let's say you're a Twitch streamer and you average around 20 viewers a stream, right? That are there to watch you play a video game that they could play themselves, right? Imagine having those 20 people in your bedroom standing over your shoulder. It'd be a packed room. It's a lot of people, right? So sometimes you have to look at the glass as like more half full, right? As where, like, and appreciate every viewer that you have. And I never had an issue with the viewership on Twitch. It was the other streamers on Twitch that was the issue. There's a lot of things on Twitch that people don't talk about that are like pyramid schemes, right? You get these streamers that are a little bit bigger than you that are chasing, you know, Twitch partnership, and what they'll do is they will create these pyramid schemes of where they will make these communities on, like, Discord, because I experienced it when I first started on Twitch years ago. There was a guy who had, you know, he was chasing Twitch partnership, and we were going to all get him there, and he was going to take us with him, and it was really just like a pyramid scheme of, we were, as small creators, were sending all of our viewers to him to push him to partner, and he really didn't care about any of us, right? And we were giving him, you know, 5, 10, 20 viewers per person, and then he had a Discord full of people doing that, and he was going to get Twitch partner, and none of us were. And a lot of people are like that on Twitch, and they don't realize that. And now that I've experienced it, I know what to look out for, but at the same time, I like streaming on YouTube because YouTube's a one-stop shop. You have short-form content with the shorts, and you have the long-form videos, and you have live streaming and the community tab all under one umbrella. And that's honestly why I left Twitch, is because it's pretty volatile with a lot of the other creators on there. It's not like YouTube. But I hope that answers your question. It was kind of long-winded, but yeah.
Do you have any questions on Insta? No? Huh? A lot of woos.
So for you guys, with your content, as you've gone over the last few years, you're saying, Topher, how you really follow the metrics and all that kind of stuff. Do you let that dictate what content you're putting out, or do you try and, you need to get that?
Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay.
I
mean, like,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
My question is, like, do you let the metrics dictate what type of content that you're doing, or
No.
do you let it Or do you use it as a guide for like how to present it?
That's a great question actually. I use the metrics solely as a guide for how I present the story that I'm trying to tell. The most important metric for me, especially on YouTube, because YouTube gives you this stuff pretty much right off the bat. It's kind of gated on stuff like Instagram. You have to, like he was saying, you make partner. You got to make. Can't remember what they call it over there. Creators Club or something. But the most important metric is your retention graph, right? Like if you look at a video and you go, and then I look at this on every video. I go, okay, we have a 60. I do a lot of short form. We have a 60-second video, and my retention. Your retention graph usually kind of does this sort of thing. You have 100% retention here, and then you can see where it starts to drop off. And if you have a line that just kind of does this, it's a lot harder to understand what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. But if you have a line that does this, it tells you where it does this. So you look at it and you go, okay, at 35 seconds, I lost 20% of the audience. The hell did I say at 35 seconds that so many people left? And it's easy to go back and look at, okay, here's second 35 in this video. Oh, I said this. Let me look at the last 4 or 5 videos that I did and see where that drop off was. And then after you do it, I've done it 4 videos a day for a year and a half, for 18 months. I haven't missed a day. And when you do that every day, 4 videos, and you look at your retention graph, you can see where people start to swipe away. And a lot of the time, it's in spaces like you start talking, you talk briefly about something completely opposing to the video you're talking about, or you tell people to hit the comments. One thing I've noticed in my videos, at the end of my videos, almost religiously, I used to tell people, hit the comments and let me know what you think. And it turns out, when you tell people to hit the comments, everybody leaves. Not because they don't want to comment, it's because to them, that's like, oh, video's over, time for the next video.
Yeah.
And if you give anybody a signal that the video might be ending, they're going to swipe away. And that could happen at 10 seconds. And you don't realize it's happening. And when you look at your retention graph and it does one of those numbers, and you do it time and time again, you realize, oh, there's a reason why people are flipping away, and it's because I'm making them feel like the video is ending. This will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
It has battery. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, because I've been running it at 4K for like hours. It's pretty warm. That's okay.
Another thing, don't worry about posting in high res.
I should have switched it to 1080p, huh?
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like really, nobody. That's another thing too that I would like to touch on is I went to film school, right? And so I was taught to shoot cinematically. You don't use jump cuts. You don't break the 180-degree rule. There's all these rules in film that like you're not supposed to do because the human brain sees it a specific way. When you're making content, all of that stuff goes out the window. None of it matters. The first viral video that I ever had was shot on the front-facing camera on an iPhone. And it was like that moment of realizing that, and I think I uploaded it at 720 maybe, and I realized that nobody cares if something's in high res, nobody cares if I'm using jump cuts. So if you watch my videos, or if you've seen my videos, you know that I am the king of the jump cut. I'm constantly using jump cuts, and that's for a reason. If you're making content, cut every 3 seconds. Change your angle. Even if that means you're holding your phone here and you just switch it to this hand, or you switch it to this angle, or you switch it to this angle. Do that every 3 seconds and watch the retention in your video go up. Because when you change angles, or when you cut to something, it is constantly engaging to your audience. So people will stay in your videos longer if you're making more cuts or if you're changing more angles. That's why you see in my videos it looks like I have 2 cameras set up all the time. It's this setup right here with my phone and a wide angle lens. And yeah, I mean I set a camera here, I talk to the camera, and then I get up, I walk over, I put the camera over here, and then I pretend like I'm Jay fucking Leno, and I turn to the camera and I start talking to this camera, and I do that back and forth, and that keeps the audience more intrigued on what's going on. So to answer your question, I do read all the comments too. I try and respond to all the comments, but in recent months, the comments get most of the comments are positive because I make positive content. So I'm not worried about negative comments, and the negative comments that I do get, I don't care. I typically don't respond to them. I usually just do the Gary Vee thing of like empathy. Clearly they're having a bad day, and that's okay. It's really not my problem. But I read all the comments, I try and respond to all the comments, and it's not because I'm trying to let the comments or the metrics inform what type of content that I make. It's like people go, man, the audio level in this video, I could barely hear you, you're buried, and I learn I need to bring my audio down, I need to do this, I need to change this. And so if you check out the metrics in the videos, especially on YouTube, they give you a lot of tools, and it teaches you a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
when you're making long form content on YouTube as well, I've learned that long-winded intros, people leave instantly, right? People who have, and Mort from Mort's Garage will attest to this, I love his theme song. It's amazing, but he doesn't use it anymore because when he would play it, most of his audience would leave. So like in the beginning, you get a lot of YouTubers, and I used to do this too. Everybody
does it at first.
Yeah, with a little intro screen and a sound effect or like a song or something like, hey guys, welcome, this is Rec Wizard, and today we're gonna, skip all that. People want to jump right into what you're talking about, right? So like,
give people a question.
The first 30 seconds it's like your hook. It's what you're gonna do to keep people engaged, to keep them watching. If you do a long 2-3 minute winded video, intro, people are just going to leave. And YouTube, like he said, will tell you all of that. And like with the short form stuff, I started, copying this guy with the some different angles and stuff. Or I love when he would take something and he would throw it up in the air and it would look like it fell out of the sky. Yeah, I got that from you.
The console drop.
I've got a lot of views doing that. One thing I'll say is he's right with the, if people think the video's over, they'll swipe. So like normally when I do a video, I'm doing like the top 5 PlayStation 1 hidden gems that everybody should play. I'll list all of my stuff, and then like the last 5 seconds I'll be like, let me know down in the comments, what are your favorite PlayStation 1 games that nobody knows about, right? And I do it in the last 5 seconds. I don't put it in the beginning or in the middle because again, people will be like, it's over, and they swipe and they go away. So I always do that at the end. But I also notice like with the people that watch my stuff, they love engaging, so that's why I still add it, but like I said, I add it right at the very end.
Well, and there's 2 different types of videos that I didn't learn until well into content creating, and there's community videos and there's growth videos. And you have to decide ahead of time, because there's not a video that does both. It just doesn't exist. It always leans in one direction. So is the video you're putting out going to be for exposure and bring in more people, or is the video you're putting out going to be for your community?
Yeah.
And asking people to engage is typically for your community.
Yeah, like you said, with the leave a comment. I really want to know what you think. That helps me too because that also gives me ideas. Or we might not remember something until someone mentions it, and then it, like all that nostalgia comes rushing back. So when I read the comments, they're like, "Well, what about this game?" And I'm like, "Dude, I remember that game," so I make a video on that game. But then, like you said, the growth video, my biggest video I've ever done was talking about when there were rumors going around that Xbox was going to stop making consoles and all of their exclusives were going to come over to PlayStation. I think that video collectively got around 8 million views.
Which actually, as of 10 o'clock, might have happened, just so you know.
Yours?
No, the Xbox conference. I haven't looked yet.
Oh, the Xbox conference was today.
There's a Microsoft conference today. They're not going to stop making consoles, but
a lot of the exclusives,
Gears
I think,
of
are
War,
jumping ship.
Halo, a lot of other things are going to start being
Starfield, all the
put on other consoles, which in my opinion is a good thing.
And that video like was nuts because I didn't think anything of it, but this was like 2 weeks before Phil Spencer was going to talk about the plans for Xbox, and there were rumors that the exclusives were going to move over to the Switch and to the PlayStation,
Which we've already seen happen.
Yeah.
With Cuphead, recently with Sea of Thieves,
Grounded.
Yep.
It was a matter of time, dude.
Quite a few.
Well, because Xbox cares about making money at this point. They don't care about the console wars, right? And so when I made that video, it got about 5 million on Instagram and like 3 million on TikTok, and then a bunch on YouTube, and it was kind of surreal. But yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where it was just an offshoot video that I didn't expect was going to do well. It's kind of just the lottery. It's the luck of the draw.
And that would be a growth video.
Yeah, a growth video versus like, hey, I really want to know what you guys think. Like, what's your favorite PS2 games? Like, what's your favorite? I do stuff about VHS all the time. I collect VHS. What's your favorite childhood movies that aren't Disney? You know, things like that. And people love that because nostalgia is a very powerful thing.
We are
It
drug
really
dealers.
is. Yeah, it's like because I get comments all the time where people are like, dude, I remember watching that movie with my dad before he passed away. Or I remember this was the game I used to play with my little sister in the summertime, you know, back in the 80s or 90s. Like, and then I get suggestions for stuff that they enjoy, and then it reminds me, oh, I played that too. And people really love talking about like their childhood or the good times, and that's really what pop culture and video games is supposed to do. It's supposed to bring us together, right? And that's, I think, why we enjoy doing it, because we can talk about all the good things in our lives and all the good memories and the stuff that we share with our kids. I mean, my daughter's 3 years old and she knows how to use a VCR. You know, what kid in 2024 knows how to use a VCR? Your kids do.
Yeah.
You know,
My kid can drop a needle on a vinyl.
I can't even do that.
Be careful. I saw that you bought 2 records.
Dude, I need to buy a record player now. You got to help me with that.
All right, we'll make a video about that.
Cool.
That'll be a community video.
Absolutely.
We'll open it up again. Does anybody have any questions about making content? Uh-oh. My wife.
Are you afraid that you're going to run out of things to make videos about?
No. I go through, okay, so that's a really good question, actually.
That is good.
I go through phases where for a week or 2 weeks, I keep a little notepad in my phone when I have an idea. I write an idea down, and I'm just like, man, I got to make a video about that one thing. I write it down. And I'll go through phases for like 2 weeks where I have more than enough ideas to make videos. And then about once a month, I hit that wall where it feels like I've made every video that I can. What am I going to do now? I'm going to make another GameCube video. Maybe it'll do as well as the last one. And then, honestly, I look around my rooms, or my house, and just go like, oh, well, that might be a fun video. So, that's the beauty of not sticking to one thing. I just talk about the things that I love, and I love so much stuff. I love music, I love film, I love games, I love taking my kids to card conventions, and you know, I love Pokemon. I don't even know what the hell Pokemon is. I know what a Charizard is, that's about it. But I make a lot of Pokemon content because they love it, and because they're teaching me, and people like watching that stuff. You know, yeah. I don't know, you ever run out of content?
Dude, the way I make content is not that, you know, it's nothing to it. I walk into my game room every night. I make a short form video every night. I look at my shelves and I go, what the hell am I going to talk about today? Every day I do that. I have nothing planned out. There's nothing scripted.
Yes.
And I grab a game
We
off
don't
the
script
shelf.
things.
No, it's
Right?
off
You don't
the
script
cuff.
things either?
No,
I don't script things either.
absolutely not. I just grab a VHS tape off, or I grab a game off the shelf and I just run with it. You know, I'll go through and I'll be like, you know what? I love VHS, and there are so many great cartoons from the 70s, 80s, and 90s on VHS that aren't Disney. I'm so tired of the Disney Plus Disney VHS tapes. I'm like, Don Bluth made a lot of great cartoons in the 80s. Let's talk about Don Bluth. Let's talk about
games.
All Dogs Go to Heaven, right? Or some animes even, like Little Nemo, Adventure in Slumberland from 1988, right?
Secret of the Nim.
Secret of Nim, yes. So I grab those off the shelf, and I'm like, here are 5 non-Disney cartoons that you may have forgot about. And I do that, and I wing it every day. Every day I wing it. And if I run out of stuff in the game room, which luckily I haven't yet, I go on websites and I look up current gaming news, like what's going on in the industry. Is there new stuff coming out? Is there any drama? And I'll talk about that. But yeah, sometimes like I feel like I get stumped, but I just wing it every time. Some do better than others, you know.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest suggestion, and I said this at the beginning of the panel, for people who want to make content is don't watch other content. Support your creators, but don't base what you do on what somebody else is doing.
Yeah.
It's if I did that, then I wouldn't have a lot of the videos that have done really well for me in the past. You know, I didn't know that the pause music from 007 was so popular.
Yeah.
I thought it was underrated personally, and I made a video about that because I have it on vinyl, and the video did really well. And I was reminded by a lot of people in the comments that that is a very popular track. And if I were a person who watched a lot of content, I would already know that, and I wouldn't have made that video.
Yeah.
Just because somebody else has made a video about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a musician. The chords I use, the Beatles and the Beach Boys and everybody else have used 50 times over. So it does, none of that matters. Like, put your spin on it. Be creative and tell a story about it. Tell your story about it, and that's what people are there for.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night. Same thing for me. I used to do, when I started out, I would do Nintendo fun facts, right? And one of the ones that did really well was, you know, did you know that Mario Brothers 2 was actually a reskin of Doki Doki Panic, and the original Mario Brothers 2 was actually the lost levels on Mario All-Stars? And all the comments were like, yeah, dude, the gaming historian talked about that years ago. I go, I know, but I'm running out of Mario stuff to talk about. There's only so much Mario stuff you can talk about before it's been done. But there were thousands of people that didn't know that, right? So I still made the video, because yeah, of course there's like the hardcore nerds like me that know that, right? But then there's the people that are like, dude, I really didn't know that. I had no idea. That's why Mario 2 is really weird and different than all the other Mario games, because it's literally a different game with Mario skin on it. So just make the content you want to make. Who cares if it's been done before? If it matters that much to you, then put your own spin on it. You know, we're all different creators. We all have different styles and different things we look at, you know, the way we look at things. So just make what you want to make. Who cares if it's been done before? It doesn't matter. And also, one thing I will say about content creation when you're starting out, best piece of advice I could give you is if you're starting to do this because you think you're going to be rich and famous, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and don't do it. Because the chances of, and this is super, I guess it's kind of negative, but it's the reality of things. If you're doing this because you think you're going to be rich and famous and that's all you care about and it's going to pay your bills, it's chances of you making an awesome living to where you can live really well on this is slim to none. So do it because you love it, because you're passionate about it, and people can sense and feel that passion, than because you think you're going to be the next Logan Paul or the next Mr. Beast, right? Because those guys started, yes, they became successful, and there is that chance. But if that's all you're chasing and you're constantly looking at the numbers and you're getting discouraged and it's bringing you down, because it's like, man, there are plenty of YouTube videos that I worked hours on editing, thought it was a really great video, and it didn't even break 500 views on YouTube. And it bummed me out. It was like really discouraging. It's like, dude, I put like 8 hours into editing this video and nobody watched it. And then I would have a video that was like stupid and it would get 1 million views. And it's like, it's hit or miss, but do this because you love it, because it's your passion and it's your dream and you want to be around other people that are like you. Don't do it because you think you're going to make money off of it. And I think you'll do a lot better. And don't care about the numbers as much. Pay attention to your analytics, definitely, and make adjustments, you know, as time goes on. But do it because it makes you happy, and this is what you love. That is the biggest thing I can tell you, because you will get discouraged. You will fail. You will have videos you worked hard on that get no views and there's nobody there. You will have live streams where you're streaming to your mom and that's it.
But my mom's always in mine.
Yeah, my mom and dad come in mine too.
Yeah.
And it's like,
she always pretends like she's not my mom too. asking questions.
And her name is like Topher's mom. Like, but yeah, seriously,
Thanks, Mom,
guys,
for getting that conversation going.
Do it because you love it.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off of what he just said, the number one question you should ask yourself if you want to make content is, why are you doing it? Because that's what matters. If you're doing it to make money, that's fine. There's plenty of people that make money doing it. But what is your message? Why are you doing it? And also, the numbers don't matter.
Nope.
Because I've had plenty of videos that do what people would consider like mediocre or moderate views, but have brought me some of the best people in my community, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
You can have videos that do millions and millions of views, and those are fun, and don't get me wrong, they give you a really great rush, but the ROI sometimes on those large videos are just not as good as the ones where you're talking to 10 people.
Yeah, and if you get a video, honestly, that you worked hard on and it doesn't do that well, you might feel discouraged, but if this is something you love, just put your head down and keep pushing forward and make another video, on to the next one, and just keep going, because this is something you love.
Or remake it.
Or remake it, yeah.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Because if it's something good enough, chances are your messaging was just bad. It's not the content, it's how you presented the content. So,
Absolutely.
you want to do a giveaway?
Yeah, let's do some giveaways because we got 8 minutes left.
Does anybody have any questions before we do
Yeah,
the giveaway?
any more questions?
What you got? Okay, that's a great question.
Burnout's a huge thing.
Burnout, the easiest way to avoid burnout is... Oh, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up,
The
Curtis?
easiest way to avoid burnout is to continue to only make videos and do videos because you love it.
Yes, absolutely.
That is like the realest answer I can give you, because burnout will happen when you post a video you worked a long time on and you feel like nobody watched it.
Yep.
And that happens over and over and over again, that you'll feel like you're getting burned out. But if you love what you're talking about and you're not worried about making money or becoming famous doing it, it won't matter.
And
You're going to continue to love it.
And people can sense that genuine.
Yes.
They can sense if you're genuine on camera, right? Like if you really care about it, people know. People aren't stupid, right? So like, if you're really doing it because you love it, then just do it because you love it. You know what I mean? You don't have to rush. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Take your time and enjoy it, and just enjoy the ride. You know, meeting everybody else that's like you. That's the biggest thing for me, is I wanted to make videos and hang out and make friends that are nerds like me. You know, that we could talk about stuff, and it's okay to be a nerd, and it's okay to like video games and weird cartoons and comic books and all that stuff, and that, you know, we're all part of the same community, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, you know, because we grew up in an era where, you know, we might have been thought of as weird, like because we watched anime or because we played
If
Dungeons
I would have
and
told my
Dragons.
parents what my kids told me about wanting to make a living talking about this stuff, that's
Yeah.
not a viable answer.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm doing this, is so they know that it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can make a living on anything you want to do. Anything. It doesn't matter if you're into bread boxes. Like, you can start a YouTube channel about bread. I don't know, just first thing popped in my head. You can start a YouTube channel about it, and if you know a lot about it and you're passionate about it, people will watch it.
Yeah.
It might take a while.
Absolutely.
People will watch it.
Any more questions before we do the
Any
giveaway?
questions?
Do you guys film? What's your film schedule? Do you guys bank videos at the beginning of the week?
I
don't.
wish. No.
Every video I post is recorded at like 11 p.m. the night before.
Same here.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I work a normal job, just like this guy, 8 to 5. I go home, I play with my kids. We usually live stream. If you don't know, we live stream on Twitch and on Instagram. And then when they go to bed, I go downstairs into the arcade and I usually shoot 3 or 4 videos. I come back upstairs, I lay in bed or sit on the patio, edit them all. I do everything on my phone. That's the other thing too, real quick. Come up with a great workflow. Workflow will keep you from burning out.
Yeah.
Edit every single day. Find the editing program that works for you. For me, it's LumaFusion. I
Same
love
here.
LumaFusion. It's like Final Cut Pro on the phone. Edit every single day. If you do that every single day, you will become masterful at it. It's no different than doing bicep curls or anything else. You want to get ripped, do bicep curls.
Every day.
You want to make good videos, shoot them every day and edit them every day.
Yeah.
The first 200, probably going to be pretty stinky, but 201, it's going to be the one, you know? Like, just keep doing it. That will keep you from burning out. Get a good workflow, find what works for you, And if you're doing it and it becomes part of your daily schedule, then it doesn't feel like, you don't feel like pressure to like come up with something cool or.
Yeah, I try to do a short form video every single day because I can dedicate 10 to 15 minutes to chopping it up, editing it, and getting out. Those are the tickets, yeah. Long form, I try to do once a week. A lot of times that doesn't happen because long form takes hours to edit. And like I said earlier, I work in construction. I live up in Northern California. I drive about 4 to 5 hours a day on top of a 12-hour commute or 12-hour shift. So I have 18-hour days, 5-6 days a week. And I've been doing that for 16 years. And my weekends are with my kids and my wife, so I really don't want to sit in front of a computer and edit for 5-6 hours when I could be spending it with my kids. But yeah, finding that workflow balance, it's definitely what you have to do. What works best for you and your schedule, and don't feel the pressure of having to get something out all the time. But is there anybody in here?
Put something out all the time.
Yeah. Is there anybody in here
Seriously.
that did not get a raffle ticket for the giveaways? Did everybody get a raffle ticket?
Because I'm about to give away this GameCube, and it's got every game preloaded on it.
Oh. Any last call for raffle tickets? Anybody? Anybody need them? Okay, we're good. All right. This is for the GameCube, or do you want to do this first?
Whatever. I'll draw for the GameCube.
Okay.
All right. This GameCube, I have everything with it. This is, if you watch my videos, this is a Dr. Mod special. It is region free, and it's preloaded with every GameCube game that's ever been released, all on this wonderful little adapter that fits right in the bottom. I got 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
All right.
Yep, let's knock it out.
Let's do it.
All right.
If one of my kids wins, I'm re-raffling. Would you see the last 3 numbers?
Just say the whole thing.
The whole thing. All right. This is not my phone number. 671-100. 100. Yeah.
That's awesome. Congrats, dude.
All right. So the directions are here. It has everything preloaded on it. NES, Super NES as well.
There it is.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Well, have fun with that thing. There's a lot of great games on there.
Yeah, that is awesome.
If you have any questions on it, just shoot me an email.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thanks for
So
coming.
for the autographed copy of Mario 3D World from Rosalina and from Mario, the winner is 671124. Oh yeah, dude! Hell yeah, man! Congratulations. So in there is the certificate. The signatures are authentic. So congratulations, dude! Absolutely, congratulations, man. Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming and hanging out.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be walking around the floor if you have any questions.
Yep.
And if you don't already follow either one of us on one of our many channels, you should do that. Wrecked Wizard and Topher.a.
Thank you, guys. Hey, do you